Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 25th of September 2020. You can see here two very important pictures of today's current affair, and we will discuss 4 to 5 very important current affairs in today's section. So first of all, I want to discuss about our Affairs Cloud subscription. You can subscribe our Affairs Cloud PDFs by visiting our website, that is affairscloud/current affair, or you can directly go to the description box. There is a link, and by clicking on that you will directly reach to the subscription area. So what you will get in the subscription, you will get daily current affair, you will get weekly PDFs, you will also get weekly tests. This is very important to evaluate yourself. And there is a monthly PDF. There are very two important things in the monthly PDF. One is the banking, finance and economy. It is very useful for the banking students who are preparing for the banking exams. And one more important thing is the pocket PDF. If you want to revise the current affair, then pocket PDF is very useful for you. And these current affairs are available in Hindi as well as in English. These current affairs are provided with very minimal cost. That is very much minimal cost, and on that minimal cost I am giving you 10% extra discount. If you use my code, that is ash10, you will get 10% extra discount on that minimal cost. So it is very useful if you subscribe these current affairs. Let's start with the today's current affair, that is the 25th September, and here is first question. What is a new limit of the state disaster response fund for COVID-19 specific infrastructure to help state? So two things are very important. One is the state disaster response fund. Second is the how it can be used for the states. First of all, let us know state disaster response fund. Now, what is state disaster response fund? It was constituted under the article of 48, or you can say the section of 48. It is not constitution article or the section. It is Disaster Management Act 2005. It comes under the Disaster Management Act 2005, and it is primary fund available for the state governments for responses to notified disaster. It means any kind of disasters, and if the state needs any fund to cover up this disaster, then they can use this state disaster response fund. It was created according to the Disaster Management Act 2005. Now earlier there was a limit that states can use 35% of the money under the state disaster response fund, but recently it was increased to 50%. It means 15% more increased in the state disaster fund. So it means that is very simple, that state disaster response fund for COVID specific infrastructure was increased from 35 to 50% to help states with more finances at their disposal to fight the coronavirus. So it was recently announced by Prime Minister Modi ji when he was integrating with the chief ministers of the 6 states, like COVID-19 worst affected states like Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Punjab, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi. So this decision was taken by Prime Minister Modi ji. So you can see here that is the state disaster relief fund that is increased from 35% to 50%. Moving to next question. Next question is, India and which country discussed ways to collaborate on the issues pertaining to infrastructure development and water conservation? It means very simple, that India and which country are discussing about the water conservation issues, so that we can sustain the water, we can conserve the water for the future generation. It means there is also a goal, that is the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which also tells us about to procure water and to use best facilities for the sanitation, that is water and sanitation. That is SDG goal number 6. Total SDG goals are 17. Time period of SDG is 2015 to 2030. So every country have to achieve SDG goals by the year 2030. Now India and which country discussed about the issues related to the infrastructure development and water conservation? And it is very simple, and answer is United Kingdom. Both the countries discuss about their schemes, like Indian schemes for the water conservation. One is the Namami Gange. Second, the Jal Jeevan Mission. What is Jal Jeevan Mission? According to Jal Jeevan Mission, every rural household will get the water, that is the tap waters, in specific quality and the quantity by the year 2024. This is very important, that by which year we will achieve the Jal Jeevan Mission for the rural household, that is by 2024. and third is the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So these three schemes are related to the water and the sanitation. That is the Namami Gange, second is the Jal Jeevan Mission, and third is the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Both the countries also discussed about business and investment opportunities in the Indian water sector. So you have to remember just one or two things, that is infrastructure development and water conservation program is going to be held with the country UK. So remember this, United Kingdom. Now you can see here India and UK water partnership form discuss on water conservation. So they both the countries signed a agreement between the Indian river, that is the Ganga, that is the sacred river, and the British water policy. So according to this, India and Britain, or you can say United Kingdom, both the countries will conserve water and increase the business related to the infrastructure development. So moving to our next question. But before this, let's know about the United Kingdom. Capital is London. Currency is the pound sterling, you can say here. And the Prime Minister is Alexander Boris. Alexander Boris. I think full name is the Alexander Boris the Johnson. So just remember the Alexander Boris. Moving to our next question. Where is the headquarter of the World Economic Forum? Why I am asking the headquarter of only World Economic Forum? Because World Economic Forum recently organized fourth Sustainable Development Impact Summit. Fourth Sustainable Development Impact Summit 2020. You don't have to remember where it was held because it was held virtually. And the main theme of this summit was realizing a great reset for sustainable development. And according to World Economic Forum, they also stated that Delhi may have 8 months a year with averaging temperature that is 32 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. It means Delhi on an average temperature will reach 32 degrees Celsius for 8 months in a year by the year 2100. And this report also stated that the by 2100 year, it means by the 2100, average June to August temperature will reach by 38 degrees Celsius for many parts of the world. This effect is because of carbon dioxide, maximum release of the carbon dioxide or the carbon monoxide, or you can say maximum it is creating because of the pollution level. So they suggested some ways like climatic policies, removing of the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, or you can say upgrading transportation or the energy system, or planting new forests, so it can save the future generation. So the report is not important. That's why I am asking where is the headquarter of World Economic Forum. So it is very simple. The headquarter of World Economic Forum is in Switzerland. Where it is in Switzerland? It is in Clogny. Cologny. So remember this, World Economic Forum. And there is one more important thing about the World Economic Forum, that is the maximum reports released by all over world, that is the World Economic Forum organization, like Global Gender Gap Report, like Human Capital Report, like the Global Risk Report, that all reports are released by the World Economic Forum. That is most important is the Global Gender Gap Report, that is released by the World Economic Forum, and headquarter is in Switzerland, that is the Clogny. No need to remember the chairman or the founder of the World Economic Forum. I am telling you the name, but there is not important. That is the Klaus Martin. Klaus. Klaus Martin is the chairman of this World Economic Forum. So this is a report, basically fourth edition of Sustainable Development Impact Summit 2020, organized by World Economic Forum. And main title or the theme of the edition is the realizing a great reset for sustainable development. That is 21 to 24 September 2020. So just remember World Economic Forum, nothing important in the report. Moving to next question. Airport Authority of India commenced work on airport expansion project in which country? India is developing some infrastructures in the neighborhood countries, like you can say in Bhutan, in Nepal, and in Maldives. So these are main you can say neighboring countries or the nearest countries where India is developing some infrastructure projects. It means India is utilizing its resources to tackle the Chinese interventions. Recently, Narendra Modi ji provided some amount of money, it means $250 billion US dollar to the Maldives country by the request of the Maldivian government. So this time again, on the request of the government of Maldives, the government of India has decided to support the Hanimado, HANIMAA DHOO, that is the Hanimado International Airport expansion project under the USD $800 million. So how India will take that money from the Maldives? It is a loan, not a grant. So remember this. This is the loan, not a grant. And this $800 million will be given by the Export Import Bank. It means the Exim Bank of India. So that's why high-level delegation from the Airport Authority of India visited the Maldives and inspected the Hanimado International Airport of Maldives. So answer will be Maldives. And you have to note down this. It is one of the largest infrastructure and connectivity project in the northern Maldives. And recently I also told you that India and Maldives announced a ferry service from the Tuticorin port to the Mali port of the Maldives. So this is also very important news. That is the first time India and Maldives started a ferry service. That is a cargo service. It means the trade between India and Maldives will be increased. So the country is Maldives. That is very important, Maldives, because from last 2 or 3 days, we are covering 3 or 4 current affairs related to Maldives. So remember this, Maldives. So you can see here, this is basically a airport which India want to develop. So India commenced work on an airport expansion project in the Maldives. Moving to next question. Which bank launched first of its kind digital facility, that is SafePay, for contactless debit card based payment? Every bank is facing some kind of problem due to COVID-19, especially in the card facility, because it is a physical system of the payments. That's why this bank launched first of its kind digital facility, that is the SafePay, for contactless debit card based payment. And it is started by the IDFC First, that is the Industrial Development Financial Corporation First. It was in 2018 that Capital First and the IDFC collaborated and become the IDFC First. And now question is how it will be used. That is on the IDFC First mobile app, that is the banking app, there is a feature of SafePay. By clicking on the SafePay, there will be a debit card showing on your mobile phone or a credit card on the mobile phone. It is related to the only debit card, then there is a debit card showing on your mobile phone. Then you have to just wave a smartphone against a near POS, that is the point of sale terminal. Then you can use this type of facility. It is a contactless, because by waving your mobile phone, you are not any contact. It means you have not any physical contact with the merchant or the POS, that is the point of scale machine. So one of the thing more important here is it allows contactless payment of up to rupees 2000 per transaction and maximum limit of the 20,000 per day. So it means you can spend contactless debit card facility maximum to maximum 20,000 per day, and 2,000 rupees per transaction you can use this type of facility. So it is IDFC First Bank. So you have to remember this IDFC First. And where is the headquarter of IDFC First? There is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. And IDFC First Bank was founded by the merger of Capital First and the IDFC in 2018. Remember this also. And who is the managing director of IDFC? IDFC First is that is V. Vaidyanathan. So remember this, V. Vaidyanathan. Remember this also. Now moving to next question. You can see here also, that is the SafePay. So you have to just wave your mobile phone against this POS machine, and the transactions will be completed. So IDFC First Bank. So SafePay, just remember this, SafePay. Moving to next question. Which state won 10th annual AZ award? I think this is new to you. I will elaborate this AZ award 2020 as People Choice winner under the category of social good. First of all, I will discuss about AZ award. AZ award was launched by Azure Magazine. AZ award was launched by Azure Magazine in 2011. That's why its name is the AZ. You can simply say that Azure is a publishing brand, or you can say it is a media brand focusing on contemporary architecture and design. So these awards are given to the best architecture and design facility which are related to the public or which are related to the private facility. Now, what about AZ Awards? Now, what is AZ Award? First of all, you have to know about AZ. Now, the AZ Awards. AZ Awards is an international architecture and design competition to recognize excellence and innovation, and also to showcase the world best products and ideas. And this award was won by that is Odisha. This Odisha's Krishi Bhavan, very beautiful product of the Odisha government, or you can say very beautiful infrastructure designed and developed by the Agriculture and Farmer Empowerment State Department of the Odisha government, located in Bhubaneswar and Odisha. This department, or you can say this state, won the AZ award, that is the 10th annual AZ award under the social good category, and it is a people choice winner. So remember the state Odisha. Odisha is very important because Simlipal Biosphere Reserve is there. Olive turtle protection program is there for the Odisha government. And second is the Bhitarkanika National Park is there. Usha Koti National Park is there. These are very important. And Paradip Port is also there. Paradip Port, where we are importing pharmaceuticals and the petrochemicals. That is Paradip Port. So this is the main building. You can see here what is fabulous design this is. So this is the that is the Krishi Bhavan of the Odisha government. It is a design of the Ekat Sadi pattern. That is the Odisha specially cultural sadi, Ekat Sadi pattern. So this is very important. That is the Odisha Krishi Bhavan bags AZ Award 2020. Moving to next question. Who became the brand ambassador of Acer India? You all know about the Acer India, very famous for the laptop brands. And who became the brand ambassador of Acer India? That is the Sonu Sood. And recently, Virat Kohli also became the brand ambassador of the Great Learning Platform. And Ayushman Khurrana of Bajaj Alliance, Sachin Tendulkar of Paytm Games or Paytm Sports. So remember this also. Sonu Sood became the brand ambassador of the Acer India. Nothing to remember more. That is the Acer signs Sonu Sood as a brand ambassador. So moving to next question. Who is appointed as a new managing director of Energy Efficiency Service Limited? That is the PSU of the government, Energy Efficiency Service Limited. And it comes under the Ministry of Power, Government of India. So who is appointed as the new managing director of this PSU, which comes under the Ministry of Power? That is Energy Efficiency Services Limited. And appointed as, yes, that is the Rajat Sood. You have to remember this, Rajat Sood. He replaced S. Gopal, that was earlier managing director, but now it becomes the Rajat Sood. Who is the Injati Srinivas? Injati Srinivas is the president of the International Financial Services, that headquarters is in the Gujarat. And VK Yadav is the new CEO of the Railway Board. So remember this also. VK Yadav is the CEO of the Railways, and Injati Srinivas is the chairman of the International Financial Services Limited. And Rajat Sood is the new managing director of the Energy Efficiency Services Limited. Where is the headquarter of Energy Efficiency Services Limited? I am telling you, this is the PSU of the government, and Maxim PSU is situated in the New Delhi. And who is the chairman of this Energy Efficiency Services Limited? Not important, but you can remember, that is the Rajiv Sharma. If you want to remember, then remember this, Rajiv Sharma. And the new managing director is the Rajat Sood. So both names are starting from the R. So remember this. You can see his picture also, that EESL appointed Rajat Sood as the managing director. Now, next news from the picture, that is very important, that Kotak gets extension as ILFS chairman. I am talking about this person. This is the Uday Kotak. Remember this, Uday Kotak get the extension of 1 year as the non-executive chairman of IL&FS. IL&FS means Infrastructure Leasing and Financial Services. Non-executive chairman Uday Kotak gets extension of 1 year. It means he will retire now in October 2021. In October 2021. It is the second time the time period of Uday Kotak extended. Firstly, he was appointed in 2018 for the 1 year, that is till the 2019. Now 1 year extended, that is till 2020, and now 1 year again extended, that is till 2021. So Uday Kotak, remember, he gets the extension of 1 year as a non-executive chairman of the ILFS. I already told you about IL&FS, that is Infrastructure Leasing and the Financial Services. Now moving to next question, and it is again from picture, that is Mohammed Hussein Robel appointed as Somalia Prime Minister. He replaced the former Prime Minister, that is the Hassan Ali, whose time period expires in July 2020. Basically not time expire, he was removed from the chair, and Mohammed Hussein Robel appointed as a new Prime Minister of Somalia. What is the capital of Somalia? That is the Mogadishu. Remember this, Mogadishu. Mogadishu is the capital of the Somalia, and currency is the Somali shilling, and president is the Muhammad Abdullahi. Muhammad Abdullahi, or you can remember just Muhammad Abdul. and Muhammad Hussain. Again, the both initials started with the Muhammad. So remember this also. Moving to next question. What is the range of Prithvi 2 missile recently tested? That is Prithvi 2 missile. That is surface to surface missile and recently tested from the Chandipur coast of the Odisha. Last time it was tested in 2019, and remember this is surface to surface missile, that is the Prithvi 2. And what is the range of Prithvi 2 missile? That is the 350 kilometer. Remember this, Prithvi 2, that is the 350 kilometer. Prithvi 1 has 150 kilometer of range. Prithvi 2 has a 250 kilometer range, but it can be extended up to 350 kilometer. And Prithvi 3, there is a Prithvi 3 also 350 kilometer, but it can be extended up to 750 kilometers. So this is the main range, that is Prithvi 2, that is 250 kilometer to extended up to maximum is the 350 kilometers. So remember this also, 350 kilometer, that is the Prithvi 2. So you can see here, that is the Prithvi 2 developed by the DRDO, that is the Defense Research and Development Organization. Chairman is the G. Satish Reddy. And where is the headquarter of DRDO? Maximum Students Market is Bangalore. No, DRDO headquarters is not in Bangalore. Headquarters in New Delhi. Remember this. Moving to our next question. Who was the first union minister to die due to COVID-19? This is the first time that a union minister dies with the COVID-19. Former minister dies, but not an incumbent union minister died due to COVID-19. And it is Suresh Angadi ji. Suresh Angadi ji, State Minister of State of Railways, that is the Union Railway Minister, you can say. Suresh Angadi ji died due to COVID-19. Kamala Rani Varun, that is a incumbent minister of the UP government. Chetan Chauhan was the former minister. And Chanesh Ram Rathaiya ji, minister of the Chhattisgarh. These personalities also died due to COVID-19. But Suresh Angadi ji, that was the incumbent union minister, died due to COVID-19. So remember this very important news. Mark under very important section or the most important section. So Suresh Angadi, Minister of State Railway, passed away. So he was a member of parliament from Belgavi constituency of Karnataka. Remember this also, it can be asked. Belgavi constituency of Karnataka. He was just 65-year-old, but due to COVID-19, he died. So moving to our next question. Who became the first woman observer to operate from warship? Mark under very important section. This is very important question, that it is the first time that women observers to operate from warships. So this is not a one woman, there are two women who appointed as the warship operators, and both will operate the warships of the Indian Navy. There were a part of a group of 17 officers of the Navy who were awarded wings on graduating as observers at a ceremony held in the INS Garuda, and where it is situated, INS Garuda, that is in Kochi, Kerala. So there are total 17 officers, out of 2 are women, and this is very important. That is the Sub-Lieutenant Kamudini Tyagi and Sub-Lieutenant Riti Singh. Both are appointed as the first woman observer to operate from warship. So this is very important. Remember this, Tyagi and Singh. Just remember this, Tyagi and Singh. You can remember, or you can remember that is Kumriti, that is the Kumunidhi and the Riti. So remember this. Next news is, which state launched Mukhyamantri Gramya Parivahan Achhoni? This is very important. When this words comes, the answer is automatically the state is Assam. And this scheme will improve the rural connectivity and to bridge the connectivity gap in the villages of Assam. It also generates the employment in the villages. What comes under this scheme? Under this scheme, a light motor vehicle will be provided to one beneficiary per village. The government will provide 25% of the cost of vehicle or 1 lakh rupees, whichever is the maximum, that is the 25% or 1 lakh, or you can say whichever is less, not the maximum, that is the 25% or the 1 lakh, to the entrepreneurs who are eligible for this scheme. The government will provide 25% of the cost of the vehicle or the 1 lakh rupees, whichever is the less, to the entrepreneurs who are eligible to this scheme, and one beneficiary per village will be provided this vehicle. The vehicles provided under this scheme will improve the connectivity and support the situation of medical emergencies, so that if you want to move a patient from village to a city, then you can use this light motor vehicle that is provided by the government of the Assam. So remember this. This is a scheme of the Assam government. So remember the scheme, that is the Mukhyamantri Gram Parivahan Achhoni scheme, and it is also called as the Chief Minister Rural Transport Scheme, because there is a one vehicle provided for the improve the rural connectivity of the Assam village. So Assam has almost 26,000 villages, and it will cover almost all the villages. So there are so many villages, but it will cover almost 26,000 villages. And you have to remember that there is a river Brahmaputra in the Assam, and there is a Majoli Island which is created by the Brahmaputra river, that is the riverine island because it is created by the river. There is a UNESCO heritage site, that is the Kaziranga National Park and the Manas Wildlife Sanctuary. Both are the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And wildlife sanctuaries are there is Garampani Wildlife Sanctuary. There is a Bor Nadi, that is the Bor Nadi Wildlife Sanctuary. These are very important wildlife sanctuaries in the Assam. There is a biosphere reserve, Dibru-Saikova Biosphere Reserve. Dibru-Saikova Biosphere Reserve. Who is the chief minister? That is the Sarbananda Sonowal. Remember this also. Moving to the next question, you can see here Sarbananda Sonowal ji giving a green flag to the light motor vehicle so that it can improve the rural connectivity. So remember the name, that is the Mukhyamantri Gram. Gram means Gaon, and Parivahan means that is the vehicle. Achhoni means that is the scheme. Now moving to next question, which state government inaugurated two major green projects to be set up in the collaboration with European Union countries? This is again a international news as well as the state news. So these are very important. It means there are two major projects. One is related to the management and the sustainable development project, that is in the Calcutta, and second is the solar project, solar power project, that is in the established in the Purb Midnapur, that is the East Midnapur district. So remember this also. And both projects will generate employment. Yes, they will generate almost 5 to 7 lakh jobs in the medium, small and micro enterprises. And this is also funded by the European Union nations like Italy, like France. And there will be 3 million euros. It means almost 26 crore rupees under the water management and the sustainable development project. And under the solar power project, there is a 1200 crore rupees. So two big projects. One is a cost of 26 crore and second is the 1200 crore. That solar power project in the East Midnapur district comes with the 1200 crore project. And maximum amount will be borne by the European Union countries. And this state is the West Bengal, which will start these two projects with the collaboration of the European Union countries. So this is very important news. Remember this. You can see here Mamata Banerjee ji inaugurates green projects to build in the collaboration with EU countries. Moving to next question, there is a 24 September 2020, that is the Sustainable Shipping for a Sustainable Planet, and it is known as the World Maritime Day, and it is annually observed by IMO, that is the International Maritime Organization, on the last Thursday of the September. So it is celebrated on the last Thursday of the September. It means it not always come on the 24th September. So remember this, last Thursday of the September. Now, what is the theme of the World Maritime Day? That is the Sustainable Shipping for a Sustainable Planet. It means it is just to raise the awareness of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and to showcase the efforts of IMO to achieve the targets. And there is a one very interesting fact that more than 80% of the world trade is through sea, which provides an efficient and cost-effective mode of international transportation of goods. That's why the World Maritime Day provides an opportunity to focus on the importance of shipping and other maritime activities, because 80% of the international trade depends on the shipping activities. And one important organization is related to this. This is the IMO. Maximum students marks IMO headquarters in Geneva, because it starts with the I and ends with the O. That's why student mark with Geneva, but it is wrong. There is an exception every time. IMO headquarters is in London. Remember this. IMO headquarters is in London and IMO established in 1948. Two things remember, that is IMO London and 1948 it was established. So headquarters is in the IMO, International Maritime Organization, is in London, United Kingdom. Move to our next question, that is from picture. Remember this, that is one space organization of India, that is the Pixel, and second is the Momentous Space. Both the space tech companies will launch, one satellite known as SSO satellite, or you can say SSO orbit satellite. SSO stands for the Sun Synchronous Orbit. And Momentum Space Up is a California-based space company, and Pixel is a Indian-based space company, that is the space tech up startup, and its headquarter is in the Bengaluru, Karnataka, and it was founded by Avais, that is the name of a person, Avais, and the Shitiz, Shitiz, that both are the names, both are different names, that is the Avais and the Shitiz, in 2019. So this have to remember, that is very important. Now, this is very important news. You have to remember there is a Pixel word. Pixel is a that is a space tech company of India, and this company is launching a satellite, that is SSO, with the Momentus Space, that is a company of the space tech company of the California. So this is all for today. You can see here all the news or the current affairs are completed. If you like this video, then please subscribe this channel, and guys, please like us, give us 300 likes or more than that, so then we can motivate ourselves to provide you a better content and a different content even in the different categories. So it is Affairs Cloud PDF promise that it will boost your confidence on the general aware section, and it is my personal promise that if you watch the videos for 1 month regularly, and you are reading the PDFs for 1 month, then no one can beat you in the current affairs, because it will become your habit after 1 month that you have to read the current affairs regularly. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will definitely increase your confidence in the general awareness section, as well as in the current affairs also. So thank you for watching this video. Take care.